Second down, 20. 5:03 to go. Someone has run on the field. Some guy with a bra. And now he's not being chased. He's running down the middle, the 40. Arms in the air in a victory salute. He's pulling down his pants. Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants. He's being chased to the 30. He breaks a tackle from a security guard. The 20, down the middle, the 10, the 5. He slides at the 1, and they converge on him at the goal line. Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man. And the players with hands on hips at the other end of the field are looking at him and shaking their head and saying, why, oh why, is this taking place in a Super Bowl?
This is a Silk exclusive.
Welcome to another episode of Words, Music, Dance. I'm your host as always, Paulie the Bull. No relation to Gravano. You know what I mean? We still using Zoom. You know what I'm saying? We still all remote and everything, but it's all good. The show goes on and the conversation continues. Today we got the homie Jared in his nice little layout in the back. You know what I'm saying? Some home renovations going on and things. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that later. Might be a sidebar or something. Maybe we'll see. Got the homie Rel. You know what I'm saying? Later. Got the homie Rel with his classic background, you know what I mean? Representing, you know, both of them representing BK, so you know, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then we got the homie the president here, you know, in quotations. Who I'm glad is here because
up at the Capitol.
Okay. But the president made some comments last year about the topic we're going to talk about today. So I'm glad he's here to you know, defend himself or at least change his stance on those comments. But first and foremost, how y'all feeling? Everybody right out there? You know what I'm saying? We're still in the pandemic. How y'all doing? Life is good.
Good, man. Good.
No doubt. Just check on the homies. Make sure y'all straight. You know what I mean? I'm good as well. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rain, you gotta be good.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Prince. Hold on, let me get a little, you know what I mean?
let it show.
Right, you know,
classic.
Yeah. But today, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl that took place, you know, this Sunday that just passed. And shout out to everybody listening, shout out to everybody watching, you know what I'm saying? Can't forget y'all, you know what I'm saying? Much appreciated, you know what I mean? Everybody over there, all the subscribers, especially y'all, everybody that chime in and tune in, comment and all that good stuff, continue to do so. You know what I'm saying? Much love to y'all, you know what it is. You know, but we're gonna talk about the number one watch TV show every year, which is called the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? We all know what the Super Bowl is, you know what I'm saying? Whether some people are football fans, casual fans, but everybody tunes in. Everybody usually go to parties, you know, what have you, but everybody's watching this. The most watched TV show every year, you know what I'm saying? So this year, obviously, everybody, you know, still in the midst of the pandemic, so parties, you know, weren't allowed to happen. People, you know, rules, only a certain amount of people can come to your crib. Bars still had to close at like 10 o'clock. So, you know, whatever. But this year, some companies chose not to have commercials and advertising. There was no Budweiser commercial. There was no Coca-Cola commercial. So certain companies backed out. So I want to start there with the commercials. With you guys, you know, did you see any commercials that you like, dislike? Usually the commercials is a draw for some people to tune in as well. You usually get some movie trailers that you're looking forward to in the coming year. Just a funny advertising featuring a guest or somebody. So I'll go in order. You know, the president, was there any commercials that stood out to you?
Overall.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, but overall the commercials were kind of lackluster to me. There was some cool ones. I did that trailer for that movie Old was dope. You know, I would definitely want to go check that out. That kind of drew me. I thought the Drake from State Farm commercial, and it's funny, like toward the end of the game, they showed it like 700 more times. But But I thought that was cool. I thought the Drake from State Farm joint was cool. The you know what I thought was whack, that Verizon joint with the with Samuel L. With supposed to be with the game, with all the gaming characters, none of that was really funny. But yeah, not much of it stood out. Like, you know how coming up, it was always like, besides the game, everybody was talking about like 5 commercials that they liked or whatever. But like, I don't know, wasn't that big like that. But just that Winter Soldier and Falcon joint that Disney Plus series coming out definitely looks interesting too. But that's the only thing that kind of stood out.
Okay. President, you there? President, you there?
Me. I only like that Shaggy joint. It wasn't me commercial. Cheetos. That was it. Everything else, they could have left that for the sanitation people.
That Shaggy
what about you?
That Shaggy commercial, that was
good.
That was hilarious to me.
Yeah,
like,
that
was right there, and he was like, "It's the first time that ever happened."
He was. I think everybody can speak on that. Like, that shit actually worked that time.
What's funny was when it came on, and I seen the team, I was like, they better have this nigga in the commercial. I was about to get tight if he wasn't in the commercial.
Right.
If they're gonna use this whole thing, I'm like, they better. And then when he came on, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that was pretty good. There was, there wasn't really many commercials that that's like wow. Like there was that, I forgot, there was a Ford commercial. That one was kind of interesting because it was trying to like, I guess it was because I remember the tagline they used was "Reunited States of America," something like that.
Yeah.
Like I remember that one kind of stood out. Like it was kind of like showing like like some backcountry farmer or something like that. Like showing people, I guess showing the guy who like middle America, sees whatever and so forth. So it was kind of interesting seeing that one because it's like, oh, so I guess y'all understand that we had a whole little spurt going on here, right? So. So that was pretty interesting. But otherwise than that, it was whatever commercials.
Do y'all think there's a specific reason why some companies chose to not have any special commercials?
I'm sure there is a reason. I just can't think of the reason.
Right, yeah, I can't think of it either. Because I mean, people inside anyway, so they're gonna be watching the Super Bowl. It's not like now there was a reason. Like the pandemic doesn't give you a reason to not watch the Super Bowl. So it's like, this it's still money to be made, so I don't know what that had anything to do with it, but it was a reason, but what it is, I don't know.
Everybody broke. Companies that got that money. It costs a lot of money to do Super Bowl commercials.
That is true. It's the most expensive 30-second spot on TV. It's funny because I saw the Fast and Furious 9 trailer in the pregame show. I didn't even see it during the game. I saw it in the pregame. So I thought that was interesting that they paid for the pregame spot for that trailer and not the main event. So
that was cheaper.
Exactly.
That was cheaper.
So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, but like I said, it was some big companies.
It cost a lot to play them.
Yeah, and the ratings, I don't think the ratings have came out yet, but the ratings will probably be higher for this game because more people were home. I did see some people partying. I ain't no snitch, but there've been some people partying. It's whatever. But a lot more people was home and things, so you would think the ratings would be higher for this event. What I'm saying? But hey, didn't happen. Some people didn't do it.
It's definitely gonna be high.
Yeah, and the storyline for this game, old versus new, so many things that you would think that more people would tune in for.
Yeah.
Me myself, I think the best commercial also I saw Saturday before the even game was the T-Mobile commercial with Brady and Gronk.
Oh yeah, that was good.
And the bad connection, Gronk called him on FaceTime or whatever, and talking to him, and all he heard was "come back one more time," and it ended up happening. So to me, that was obviously you know, after the fact, it's even more funny. But yeah, that one, the Shaggy one. The only real trailer that stood out during the game was the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I expected more. I thought rumor was that Disney Marvel was gonna have, one for like Black Widow coming out and some of the other movie stuff, but we didn't get none of that. So and I really didn't see too many movie trailers because again, we know the movie industry right now doesn't know what its future is really going to be. But it was funny because the trailers that I did see, they made sure to highlight only in theaters.
Yeah.
Because now you got to say that because some movies are coming out on streaming services and simultaneously. So it's funny that the movies that are going to theater only, they got to stress that in theaters only on this day.
But at the end of the day, they're gonna probably, if shit don't pan out, they're gonna have to reverse field on that.
Yeah.
If like for instance, the movie that I seen that I want to see, Old, it said it's only in theaters this summer.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get this summer and these theaters are open, they're not gonna be like, well, we said only in theaters, so we're not gonna lie. They're gonna say, oh, you remember that? Yeah, nah, it's HBO Max.
Exactly.
So,
and that may be why some people didn't want to promote some things because they still unsure of the certainty of it. So it's like, all right, did we spend this Super Bowl budget when it might get pushed back again, or what I'm saying? So it's understandable. It's understandable. But moving on to halftime. Like I said, we're gonna come back to the game. We'll say the game for last. The halftime show. The president had an interesting question about the halftime show. What was that question again?
Who was the dude performing? I really don't know who that. I really didn't know it. I really did not know who that was until y'all told me. I was like, "Yo, who is this dude?"
Yo.
For those that don't know, the halftime performer was The Weeknd.
That's his name.
Yeah,
like The Weeknd. He named himself The Weeknd.
And it's
wow.
no E. It's no E. The last E that's normally in Weekend is gone. Like that's how you spell it. Like
You put no E in his name. Oh,
yeah,
he's
Weeknd.
Wow, rap has changed a lot, man.
He's not. Yeah, he's not a rapper.
But he's not a rapper. What is he? He's a singer.
Yeah.
R&B pop.
Whatever happened names like R. Kelly and Usher.
Yeah, they want Kels to do a halftime show.
Well, we all know
live from the prison.
Live from Folsom State.
Have Akon come through? Do locked up?
He could have zoomed it with his Zoom background.
Well, they could have did like a versus be having the IG set up. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Came through the IG live and performing it. So the president is completely unaware of who The Weeknd is.
I don't know who he is. I don't. My bad.
Gentlemen who do know of The Weeknd, what were your thoughts on his performance? So,
I mean, I'm not necessarily a fan of The Weeknd. Like he got some records I fuck with. Mm-hmm. But like I've never sat and listened to a Weeknd album. Okay. And so it's like it was very underwhelming for me. I'm there like, okay. He did like out of the songs that he did, there's only one song he did that I really like. And that's the fucking the shit where he sound like Michael Jackson. I Feel It Coming, that joint.
Oh, okay.
Pause
that.
Yeah. But that's I'm not saying all the rest of the songs are whack, but that's the only one I really like. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting through the rest of them like, and like that joint, that Blinded by the Light, you hear that everywhere, like commercials. No, I guess that's a big record for him, but it's like that shit is whack. You know what I'm saying? But like it's a real, I guess it's a hit for him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was watching like they could have, they need to let Beyonce do another one or something like that. Like I'm here like what is? I was happy for it to be over, to be honest.
Didn't Beyonce do it twice?
I don't know.
I think she did it twice.
I think she did it twice.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how we went from sexy ass J-Lo and Shakira to some
you can
dude named Weeknd without an E in it.
Yeah, I was just saying that's young Hova.
Jay-Z is in charge of the halftime performers. The next one. 2 more years, three more years.
How they hold up,
it
man.
was, but yeah, Jay picked
I
that.
mean, I'm a fan of the Weeknd songs. Like I said, the same as Rel. I really never listened to an album. Like if I hear something, okay, that's cool, whatever, so forth. But yeah, the performance, wasn't all that great to me. Some people loved it and so forth, but those, I guess, are people that actually see Weeknd in concert and so forth. And
Right.
whatnot.
The people that loved it are the big Weeknd fans.
Mhm.
That's what.
Like
that's
I
what loved
wasn't. It didn't do much for me. Like, I mean, it was an interesting concept. The concept of it was interesting because it started from the top. Like I remember, I remember Lady Gaga started from the top, and then she jumped off like she was like Owen Hart. My bad. She jumped off. My bad. My bad. Like Sting.
R.I.P.
You gotta edit that one.
Like Sting. Like she jumped off like she was Sting coming down from the rafters, to the stage, or whatever. And then but like he started from the top of it and then went midfield, or they went mid-level and had that whole little, opening, whatever, so forth. And then the fun house mirrors and shit like that. And I remember I made a comment to you. I was like, man, because at first I thought it was like a selfie stick that he had and was just tossing and turning. And then when he pushed the shit away, I was like, oh, that was the camera guy. And I was like, man, I don't think I had a mask on because that shit got real crazy in there, bro. Like, and then from the fun house down to the field for like all of three minutes, I guess it was. It was interesting using to utilize the space that was given, but otherwise than that, like they didn't really move me. Like J-Lo, Shakira was way better than
better.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, just
and
even without the sound.
Maybe it's because you had two people, going. Because then again, not really, because the Adam Levine and what was Adam Levine and not Adam Levine, it was Adam Levine.
He did one with somebody. I can't remember who the other person.
It was
was he Katy
Travis
Perry?
Scott.
Travis Scott came out.
Yeah,
he came out real quick though. He did the one song like that.
Yeah, he literally did like all of 2 songs. Like he did Sicko Mode for like his half, and then he did like his intro, whatever. Then like scooted out, and that was kind of trash. But so I mean, I can't even say like it's the whole two-part the two-party system is better than one party. But his thing wasn't all that to me.
The fun house though, it made the meme circuit. So
yes,
I guess that's a positive thing.
I guess that'll make it a memorable performance because it will live on.
Yeah.
I am a Weeknd fan. I can go through a whole album. I have listened to whole albums of his, more so the trilogy, his older stuff before he really got more pop. I was not a fan of the last album, which a lot of people are, and it was nominated for some Grammys and things, and cool. It wasn't for me. I really like the last album, but overall the performance itself just was lackluster. And sometimes some artists aren't really great for performances, certain songs. And to me, I feel like the audio wasn't great.
He wasn't great.
It wasn't exciting.
And the guy wasn't great.
and the whole, I still don't get this gimmick of his that he's been doing recently with the facial reconstruction surgery with the bandages, and then he had a bunch of fake Weekends out there with him, and it didn't make any sense. I didn't get any story to the performance itself.
It was interesting. He wasn't dancing, but he sounded tired when he was singing.
Well, because he was moving around. He was
walking and stuff. But
he was running around. But yeah, to me, it just, as we got someone else coming through. Chris, what up?
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? So I got a fellow 49er fan with me here, so I feel, I feel good. We're gonna talk about that later. We might get into that. We don't need to. But right now we're talking about the weekend.
Oh, did he say boo?
Possibly.
I said cool. Cool.
He said cool.
Oh, okay. Just making sure, man. I thought we was cool.
No violence. Right now we're talking about the weekend and the halftime performance.
Oh shoot.
So you right on time. What's your thoughts on that? Okay.
He gotta say that he ain't like it, bro.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I love that man's music.
Mm-hmm.
He need to start back getting high again, though.
Okay.
He was a different, like his music was on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he was high all the time, and when he was like considered a social, I guess, useless plug, but considered a social misfit, and and was weird to everybody. That was when his music was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like House of Balloons and all of that was great work.
That was what I said. I said the trilogy was more my love for him, and then recently he went pop, a lot more pop music.
Straight pop. Now he's straight pop, and you could tell his whole image now is, all right, I got to do what they want me to do now. So let me keep it PG. Let me keep it, strictly. I gotta be clean. I can't show that I'm high in this performance. Where before he'll come on stage, eyes lit, wouldn't even care. Now it's just different, and you could see it's different. But I mean, it was cool. It was all right. He could have had a cameo. That probably would have sparked it off, but
we didn't get a cameo.
You can't go from J-Lo and Shakira to just The Weeknd. Like, I need something.
And now, do you guys feel the backlash from last year affected who they chose this year and what they may have allowed him to do?
Maybe.
I'm sorry, what backlash?
They still could have got somebody else though, like, but that could have been that, possibly.
What was the backlash? I missed that. What was the backlash?
So
I think we ought to sue. I think we ought to sue. I said, what do you mean? I think we ought to sue. That's what I think. Hey, folks, were there any warnings before that Super Bowl halftime show? Would that halftime show, would that have been rated PG? Were there any warnings that your 12-year-old young son whose hormones are just getting ready, just starting to operate, was there any warning that what he's going to see might cause him to get sexually excited? No, I think we ought to go sit down in the courtroom and present this as evidence. And how the whoever is keeping me from getting into the kingdom of heaven. Could I go into a courtroom and say, viewing what you put on that screen put me in danger of hellfire? Could the court say, Roger, that doesn't apply here? That doesn't apply here because pornography, the right to porn overrides your right to watch it? Yeah, but you didn't tell me I was going to watch it. You just brought it into my living room. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me there were going to be crotch shots. You said, well, you should know better. You should know better because it's J-Lo and whoever that was. You should know. She's an expert in crotch shots. You already know that. No, I protect my eyes. I didn't know that about her. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. That's why did we sue? Is it not discriminatory for me to say, I love watching the NFL. I want to watch the Super Bowl, but I don't want to watch that. If they bring that into my house, is that not discriminatory? Roger, what do you think? Is there an attorney out there say, huh? That's discriminatory against the values I have in my house. You can't just do that. They won't even let you talk about homos on Facebook. I want to sue them. I want to sue them for about $867 trillion.
Like, how am I supposed to explain this to my 13-year-old son?
You don't gotta explain that to him. Like, nigga, watch the second half, son.
Yeah,
how do he explain it?
Go ahead. He about to say what I'm about to say. Go ahead. I know it. I hear it in his voice. He about to say it.
How he gonna explain to his son that Weeknd trash? What he gonna?
Yo.
Like, what he gonna say? Yo, son, he made a mistake. He brought out the wrong song. The audio got messed up.
The audio.
This shit, Dad.
maybe that might be easy for him to explain. But Chris, what were you gonna say?
Yeah,
my
that wasn't
bad.
it.
That wasn't it.
No, you good. You good. I was hoping you was going down. I mean, I'm more of a cynic, so I say how he explained these other pastors touching boys.
Well,
You need to worry about that.
There you go.
both valid points,
But, you
gentlemen.
know.
Both valid points. Yeah, I feel like they made him, and they probably knew he'd be safer and made sure he was safe. You know what I'm saying? Because at most, all he had was 100 copies of him, all suit and tied it up and faces covered. They didn't show nothing. He had no women on stage with him. It was just him and hymns. So, I don't know if that was the reasoning for the last year. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we all know Jay-Z is responsible for choosing.
Gotta talk to that man.
But the NFL still is the final say-so on their product, and they want to keep it real safe so they don't have any problems like they had last year. So
it was just a bad decision. He's not a performer like that. He don't dance.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. His music isn't performance music, really. Right. It's mood music. It's you know what I'm saying?
Vibe out to that shit.
Yeah. So it's not something you really, get hyped to or stop what you're doing and say, oh, look, the Weeknd is on. And you know what I'm saying? That wasn't it. That wasn't it. But before we get to the game, though, Chris, we had started already with the commercials. Were there any commercials that stood out to you this year that you liked?
The funniest one to me, I say, was the ode to George and his face on the shirt.
Oh.
And he was like, "You can't wear my face." That was one of the good ones. The husband in the Alexa commercial with Michael B. Jordan was mad funny.
Yeah, that's a good commercial. I forgot about that.
The husband was mad funny. Like the hate that he had in his heart and his face.
Turn the lights back on. Turn the lights back on.
He out there talking to his boys. He like, wait, hey, no, let's stop. No.
He talking about other people like to use the bathroom. Commercials was blah this year, to say the least.
And that was another one that I think I seen like Saturday on YouTube already. It was one of the pre-YouTube ads. It showed it.
Yeah, I already saw the Michael B. Jordan before the
year.
Y'all was cheating. Y'all was out here looking for the answers.
I wasn't looking for it.
I wasn't looking for it. It showed up. I was clicking a YouTube video, and it was one of the pre-ads, and I let it run because I'm like, wait, what's this? I'm like Michael B. Jordan. I'm like, that should have been a Super Bowl commercial. And then sure enough,
and it was.
Yeah.
But I actually saw them. I actually saw the Alexa commercial on Friday. So it's been aired. They just repurposed it,
right?
As, Super Bowl.
I saw a preview of it because they had like a thing with just Michael B's eyes glowing and him standing in the water where the sprinklers was on. So I just saw that preview. I figured, okay, that's gonna be, something because they used to do those Super Bowl commercial teasers to lead up to it. But then I saw it on Saturday. I was like, oh, I guess it wasn't. And then I was like, this should be a Super Bowl commercial though, and then you know what I'm saying? So they screwed that up completely. Like, I don't know.
Doritos need to kill whoever they dude is, because that 3D commercial was trash.
Yeah, that shit was dumb.
And it looked like those chips is gonna be trash. Who else had a 3D chip that tried that? Who else did that?
Or
but it's nothing but mad air inside the chip anyway.
It was either Lay's or was it
it's not like it's a stuffed chip or something.
Right.
Not Bugles. It was some other chip that went 3D. They always that cone shape.
Yeah.
Somebody else went 3D and it was just trash. So I feel like Doritos is it's like the beginning of the end now.
That shit gonna be Doritos with mad air in the middle.
Everybody just
Matthew McConaughey should stick to just Lincoln commercials. That's it.
Yo, word. When he don't say nothing.
all right. That's all he say. That's about it. Yeah, the commercials was definitely lackluster. And we were saying too, like a lot of the companies didn't seem like they really were gonna put any money into it. It was like 30-second only. Like they wasn't trying to do 30-second, minute, 60-second spots. And even the Falcon and Winter Soldier, they used a 30-second spot to say go to YouTube to watch the full trailer. They wasn't paying for more than 30 seconds. It was like, what's the minimum? All right, 30-second spot.
Everybody got a digital. Everybody has a digital app coming out now. Paramount Plus now. Like everything is turning plus now.
Right.
Like, yo, cable is really about to be non-existent. They better tighten up.
Yeah. But and everybody use YouTube for commercials. So it's like we ain't got to spend all that money for these Super Bowl commercials. Like I said, like the Disney Plus joint was like, all right, here's a 30-second spot, and we're gonna end it by saying, go there to watch the whole thing, to watch the real trailer.
To see more.
So Guru, before you continue, I got a special guest.
Uh-oh.
The Weeknd has just shown up, all right?
Live on.
So we got the Weeknd at our halftime of the episode. So thanks for joining.
Wow, that's fat.
Wow, thanks for blessing us.
I'm glad you did that.
So,
before we go, as it's just now coming on my TV again too, the Samuel L. Jackson Verizon commercial was trash.
Yeah, I think somebody else said that.
It was like you could tell as soon as Juju said, "All right," you could tell what was about to happen.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, be real.
So yeah, we all agree commercials this year was trash. The halftime show was trash.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the game. And so first off, I want to start with Jared, because you're the host of the Homie Picks.
Yes, sir.
And you, out of the three, shout out to Lewis, shout out to Ben. They both picked the Chiefs to win. You picked the Buccaneers to win.
Like it'll be if anybody can do it, Tom can do it. And he has Gronk, so he has another coach. But even though he's a shell of himself, but AB, I think it'll be a nice way to end Tom's career with another Super Bowl. So I'm just gonna ride with number 12, Tampa Bay.
Okay, we can call him
Okay.
But last year, you, me, and the president, quotes, the president had a conversation about the free agency, and we talked about the Buccaneers. What do y'all think about Tampa Bay this season?
They'll make it to the playoffs.
That's it?
That's it. They roster's not good enough.
Anything is better than Jameis Winston's 30 for 30. I think Brady's gonna get 30 this year because he has
Hot take.
He has better weapons than he did.
You think he'll get 30 touchdowns or 30 interceptions?
Oh, he ain't gonna.
Do we think that Brady's gonna actually look like himself again? Because last season he was looking old, he was looking a little shaky. Is he gonna look back like he gonna look like the old Brady, or he gonna look like an old Brady?
Depends on his line. He has the weapons. It depends on his line.
I think it depends on everybody staying. If everybody stay healthy, he should hit at least 28 touchdowns. At least 28. If everybody stays healthy. But I still don't have faith in that whole roster. They don't have a running back. I like Rojo, but Rojo ain't no dominant back. He'll get you, so he'll make some plays for you, but he ain't no dominant back. They DBs trash.
So the recurring theme from Ben and from the president was that the secondary of the Buccaneers was trash. That was the recurring theme. The secondary, the DBs. He said, President, am I lying? Was that not what? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Was that what you had said?
They were trash, but they were.
This was before the season.
This was last year, March.
I missed that episode. So this is before the
episode
season?
83. So if y'all want to go back to the catalog,
you sent it to me. I didn't get a chance to look at it before this. So my apology, but because I definitely would have. What?
So the president, you said that they would. I think you did say they would just make the playoffs.
Yeah, I said they would make the play. playoffs.
Just make the playoffs, and that's it. So talk to me now. How do you feel today, now that the game is over? What's your thoughts on that?
All right, let me get my disclaimer out
Please
first.
explain.
All right, so
Go ahead.
when I said that, this was before the group trade. That's the first one. This is before they signed AB, and this was before they picked up Leonard Fournette. And if you look at those were the three main guys in the Super Bowl who was balling out. Now I did say they. Now I'm still standing by what I said.
Okay.
They DBs are written testimony. All right. They got better towards the end of the season. And I'm gonna prove to you how they were written testimony. Okay. Tyreek Hill in the first quarter of the Kansas City game had 203 yards on 7 catches in the first quarter.
Okay.
No, not 4 quarters. No, we're not talking about 4.
And that when was that game again? When did they play?
That was
That was like
That was like week 6, I believe,
Okay.
or something like that.
Okay.
So,
okay.
and then Drew Brees, the first and the second game were cooking them.
Okay.
In the regular season. Now I give them credit towards December. At the end of December, that's when they started getting hot and they started balling. I don't know if they had some Spygate going on, but them boys was clamping. They were clamping everybody. I gotta give them props. They were clamping because Carlton Davis, he had Michael Thomas on lockdown in the playoffs. Mike Thomas had I think he only had 1 catch. Locked him down. I was shocked. I was like, holy shit. And then he locked down Sammy Watkins in the Super Bowl. I was like, damn, that's something that Richard Sherman couldn't do last year. But that ain't none of my business. I don't even know why I brought that up.
Oh, this mother.
I don't know why I brought that
please
up.
God go next. Please God go next.
Let him finish. Go ahead, continue.
You know, and then we talk about the Super Bowl. You got to give the Bucks defense. You got to give them credit. Them boys was hunting last night. They were hunting last night, yo. I mean, Shaq, he gonna get paid. Somebody gonna throw him at least $100 million. They couldn't block him to save his life, and you see how important it was. Them missing them 2 tackles. They was missing Mitchell Schultz and Eric Fisher. Those 2 tackles. Without those 2 tackles, they was not blocking JPP and Shaq all night long. And then you had Sue. And then Todd Bowles said, you know what? We're gonna play 22 man all night, and we're gonna double Tyreek Hill. Y'all can't have him. And then Levante David, I've never seen an inside linebacker shut down a tight end. Usually that's barbecue chicken right there. He was shut, and man, we talking strictly man, because Kelsey had a 9 for $119, but he got most of his yards through zone coverage. Man coverage, Clamp City. And they shut them down. I mean, that's something that the 49ers didn't do nothing last season, but
we go again.
That ain't none of my business. I don't know why I keep bringing that up, man. I don't know why.
Got a whole clip over there.
I don't know why I keep bringing that up. I don't know why.
For the record, what's your team again, the president?
The Ravens.
No. Your team is the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
The Chicago Bears.
Yes, the Chicago Bears.
For the record,
yes.
so just want to make sure that's known. Are you finished or are you done?
Yeah. I'm done because the last time we played the 49ers, we walked into their building, put our feet up on their sofa, stomp mud hole in them. Let's get it.
Okay.
With a trash quarterback. Let that speak for it. Let that sizzle in your spirit.
At the time was trash.
I mean, your quarterback's been trash since Steve Young, bro.
Wait,
y'all turned into the Chicago Bears as far as the quarterbacks, but we keeping it a buck.
So since Steve Young, how many Super Bowls have we played in compared to y'all?
How many L's y'all took in those Super Bowls that y'all played in?
But we were there though, compared to y'all.
So y'all went all the way there just to go home with nothing? That's what you told me?
I'm sticking to your argument about the quarterbacks because we had quarterbacks take us there.
We had a quarterback that took us there. We had Reg Grossman who took us there.
We had a guy by the name of Jimmy Garoppolo take us there.
And what did he do this year?
But how many times did y'all get there with your quarterbacks? Since we're talking about quarterbacks.
Okay, we got there with Rex Grossman.
Hold on.
Rex Grossman.
How many picks did y'all give up? How many picks did y'all give up for your quarterback just for him to still be trash? How about that? How about that?
I mean, we gave up a lot, but at least he made it to the playoffs twice. What this Solomon Thomas?
So now it's at least we made it to the playoffs, but it's not at least we made it to the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's a consolation for a trash quarterback. I knew he was trash from the very get-go, but hey, I didn't draft him.
Wow.
He said, I'm not the GM.
Okay. Chris, what you wanted to chime in on some things there?
And listen, after hearing that ended, the tail end of that, I understand why he made the comments he did. You know, the proof is in the pudding, obviously. You know, but to rebut these comments, to say that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers DBs were trash, that's a reach. Sean Murphy Bunting has been, I'd say, top 10, 15 cornerback in the league since coming in. Jamel Dean last year had a rough rookie season, coming into his own this year. Carlton Davis, injury prone, first time he's been healthy going into the playoffs and having him full strength in the Super Bowl. They knew him coming back was going to be big. Antoine Winfield Jr., a rookie, playing lights out.
He's good.
So their entire defense has been above average. Now to talk about, you know, what Tyreek Hill did, yeah, Tyreek Hill lit them up that first quarter in that first game. And what did he end the game with though?
Right.
The job was already done.
Hey, it's about adjustments though.
Yeah,
if anything, it's about adjustments, brother.
Because he had a great first quarter, but the last 7 quarters against the Buccaneers defense
have been locked up.
So
have been locked up.
Yo,
compared to 7 quarters.
If I catch 7 for $1.203 in the first quarter, the job is done. I'm sitting on the bench drinking Gatorade.
Not when we see you again, you don't do nothing, and we win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Obviously, I popped out too early.
I'm trying to be the first to get like
7 compared to getting poured Gatorade on you after the Super Bowl. That's a totally different feeling.
I said they played great from December on. I gave them credit.
And it seems like there was adjustments made, like you said, that first quarter, they knew, okay, he tripping. We got to stop that.
And they shut that down.
And the Chiefs never adjusted.
Was it single coverage or did they double them?
No, it definitely wasn't single coverage. It wasn't. I wouldn't even say it was man. It was a box coverage.
Yeah,
they literally shadowed. They kept it shadowed on each side. But you got to realize again, that's a game plan.
Right. But I'm saying, but then that doesn't prove that their DBs are good. If you have to double one guy, that means that one guy that you got can't cover him solely by himself.
Well, what team is putting one guy on Tyreek Hill?
Put the words about my mouth. Nobody's putting one dude on Tyreek. All the DBs. None of them.
All the DBs. Nobody's saying, yo, I don't need no safety help. I got him. Ain't nobody saying that.
They all getting beat. Every one of them.
I'll tell you one who would have did it. Revis would have clamped him.
No, he wouldn't. No, stop it. Stop it.
What?
Stop it.
Man, y'all need to go back and check Revis out, man.
You need to go back and look at what Marquise Goodwin did to Revis when he was last on the Jets and Marquise Goodwin was on the Bills.
I'm talking about prime Revis.
15-yard cushion and still got dusted by 10.
Yeah, I'm talking about prime reason. Prime reason.
Okay, and you talking about a prime Tyreek Hill?
But listen to this. But listen to this.
Word, clamps.
But listen to this. You know how far you had to go to find a nigga to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many Darrell Reeves are there? You know what I'm saying? Like, like this. How many Darrell? Like, a league will see one Darrell Reeves. Like, like. So
it was Reeves 20 years ago. It was Reeves 20 years ago.
Unless you have him, you're doubling. Or you're creating some sort of zone. You're not letting nobody say, I got him. Like Tyreek's eating all night if you do that.
He tough dude to cover, but I'm just saying. I seen a lot of people cook Sean Murphy Burton. I seen a lot of people cook him though.
Again, you got to play the defense that is schemed for that team. So if your coach sets you up, like you said, in that first quarter, and you get toasted, coach, this shit ain't working, bro. We gotta switch this up. We gotta do something here.
A man said,
or the
gotta
good
do
coach is
something.
gonna say that before the player even say it. The good coach is like, y'all.
The coach is supposed to say that.
Right. The coach is like, nah, you get smoked.
When they come through
after the first 120,
they
was looking at the coach like, we want to, this cover 3 ain't working.
When they walk to that sideline, he got the printout from his Surface tablet. Like, all right, so you here, and he all the way in the end zone. We can't have that no more. We not doing that no more. No, sir.
Exactly.
What we gonna do is have him cover
that game plan fit what their team was built on. That defense was built on those 2 edge rushers coming down the side. You got those 2 big monsters in the middle, in Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea.
Yeah. Sue had a good game.
2 of the best linebackers, like probably one of the best linebacker tandems in the league since Navarro Bowman and Pat Willis. Bring that up because you said no linebacker ever locked up a tight end before. Don't disrespect Pat Willis, bro. Don't be disrespectful. even the late Ryan Shazier before the spinal injury, don't be disrespectful because he'll lock up a tight end too.
Not an elite tight end. We talking about
Kelsey's an elite. No.
We talking about
I've seen
Pat
Willis.
In the lane.
I've seen Pat Willis go head to head, catch for catch, as far as locking up Tony Gonzalez.
Probably old 37-year-old Gonzalez.
Oh my God.
He locked up 38-year-old Gonzalez.
Well, Jared,
put that on his mantle.
Jared, you picked the Buccaneers on the homie picks. So tell me what made you pick them, or why'd you go that way?
You can't bet it. For me, I've learned it's real hard to bet against the GOAT.
You can't do that.
It's hard to bet against the GOAT, even though Foles got
Chris's background. You know what I'm saying? We see the
Foles got it, Eli got it, and maybe the Chiefs next year should sign Eli Manning or Nick Foles together. But other than that, like Brady's just that good, and honestly, like I just like the way that their defense has been playing. Like the Chiefs' defense still isn't much to me. There's nothing there to be desired. I know, you got, Honey Badger there and so forth. Matthew and whatever. But outside of him, like that defense gets cooked anytime. Like Cleveland scored on them, and Buffalo, they got scared. I don't know what the hell happened to Buffalo that time, but they just played scared. But
they did.
But the Chiefs defense all year has been suspect to me. And even though people say that about Tampa Bay's defense stepped up. Like the president said in December, they've gotten a hell of a lot better. And they were shutting shit down for the most part in the playoffs. Up until the Super Bowl. Sean Murphy Bunting, he had an interception every game. So I like the way the defense playing. Plus Brady he's just that good, and he has a lot of weapons around him. And I remember I said that coming before the season began. I said he has a better offense than he'd had in New England. So but I will say I was definitely wrong because I thought he would have had 30 touchdowns. This year he had 40. So like
you said 30, he said, I see that and give you 10 more. Hold on.
Jared, in your defense though, Gronk and AB combined for 11. So if you take away that 11, you got your 30 right. We got what, 29?
You got 29 right there.
You would have been dead on.
So, but you got, and then he threw for over 4,000 yards as a 43-year-old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like the dude is that elite, and people can say, "Oh, the refs cheated for the so forth." Although, like I would say, the refs did they? Of course, they may have missed calls and so forth, and they may have called more things against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are mad blatant about shit. Like that's like there could be a flag on every single play, but if you make it blatant enough, I have
even
to.
Tony Romo said that. Tony Romo even said they hold on every play.
Yeah, they do. In the replay when he said that, the one they called, they show dude on the other side of the field doing the same shit. I'm like, yeah.
It's like pick your poison, like pick your flag right there.
Right.
But you know, like I said, like Brady is just
about that too.
When it came to the call, when it came to the call, the only call to me that was like, to me it was some bullshit was the PI before the Brown touchdown.
When he tripped him?
That they called. No. When it was in the back of the end zone. It was right at the end of the first half. When he push? To me, that shit was whack. I always notice in football games, whenever it's an egregious call, something always big happened the next play that like might not have happened if that call didn't take place. I thought that was mad ticky-tack for a Super Bowl call. But to Jared's point though, all the other ones that hold them dudes be holding crazy. And I think that speaks to because their defense isn't that great. They got a mediocre defense. Their DBs have to hold to keep pace. So, they're gonna get flagged. And outside of that,
ask a question to that?
Yeah. Huh?
What was the ref supposed to do on that call? Like I understand
to me that looked like a play on. That wasn't that blatant to me. That particular.
So did he stop him or impede his path on the route that he was running?
I think he did.
He did.
Mike Evans was running a straight go route,
and he wouldn't let him
pushed
come
him and made him go off to the side, past 5 yards.
Yeah,
that's literally the definition of what the ball is in the air, pass interference. Unfortunately,
to me, the only one that I wouldn't throw was the one when he tripped him because it was way overthrown.
It looked like an incidental trip. Like they clicked feet and he fell.
I wouldn't throw the flag on, but the ones they did flag, to me, I think they had to throw those. They was too blatant. Because like I said, like that play, he's trying to go left. He's trying to cut in. The ball is coming towards the middle, and he's trying to cut in to get to it. He couldn't turn in. So when you stop someone from turning on their route, you got to call that. When you can see his route is coming that way, you got to call it. And like I said, to me, the tripping was the one that was just overthrown. That one they could have probably held up on because he kind of sold it. He kind of flopped on it a little bit to sell it.
That's how he sound.
The trip was a running trip, like fumble trip. He tripped. It was just, you know what I'm saying?
Like, that's how they sound. Really?
I mean, that's how when slow mo watching this when they do the slow mo replay. It looked real like he was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I mean, but with that one, because even what's the referee dude in the booth or G Steratore or something like that? Yeah. Like even he said it's like you still can't predict if Evans would have like reached out for it because he has that ability. So it's still kind of hard, it's kind of hard.
Now, that was a good call.
Yeah, especially now with all these one-handed catches and things, you just don't know what somebody would. You got to
get that dude got a freaking spectacular catch rating in Madden. All I know, man. Like
you got an X factor.
I mean, he is 6'5".
But the ref knows. Before we get to Brady, let's talk about Mahomes, because this was the marquee matchup. It was Mahomes versus Brady, even though it's really them versus the other team's defense. But Mahomes, I believe they said he broke a record for like scramble yards behind the
500.
Something crazy.
497.
To me, Mahomes didn't even get to play yesterday. Like
I can't say that because he still got the throws off. As weird as it
and the thing is too,
he was I
was about to get to that.
Yeah,
with all the scrambling, he would get these wild throws off, be on target, and I think the receivers were like, "Nah, with all that, I'm not getting the ball." You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, "Oh shit, here's the ball," and then they dropping it because they when like this dude is parallel to the ground, throwing the ball, hitting receivers in the helmet, and these dudes is like, "Oh shit, he got this shit to me." And you know what I'm saying? And dropping it.
That hit the helmet, that you got to give credit to the DBs on that because they kind of put their arm in the way to kind of block the vision a little bit. So even though they missed deflecting it, when the ball got there, like the arm just moved. It was like, oh, the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of came. And they should be used to that because Mahomes loved throwing no-look passes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you never count him out of a play, so you gotta always be
they didn't catch it. Like they just didn't catch it.
Yeah.
So I would give credit to the DBs because I was a couple of them I saw the DB just got an arm in the view. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you play basketball.
Deflections like a motherfucker.
Yeah, like when you playing basketball and you can't get the block shot, but you put the hand in somebody's face.
That's right.
They was just doing that. So it was just like, all right, just the helmet is only got this much view. Just get an arm in the way. You know what I'm saying? But what else did y'all think about like Mahomes' performance aside from the scrambling and stuff? What did y'all see about, even under the pressure that he was under? How'd y'all feel about that?
For me, my bad, President.
Good, Jerry.
For me, like there's a famous clip on Twitter and Instagram, whatever, from college, from back in the day, from NCAA, a college of football, where homeboy is on the ground damn near and throws a perfect pass.
Oh, that was crazy.
Mahomes is a glitch. Mahomes is a glitch in the whole.
Yo, that was insane. I was like, holy shit.
He's impressive. Like even like this, there was many plays where he had some crazy ass passes and them shits were accurate.
Yeah,
and dead on.
Like
going distance, and I'm like, yo, how is this dude doing this? Like I hate the fact that my team got to play in the same conference as like this shit is just incredible. But like it shows that like, the dude works on his craft, man. And he still outpassed Brady, but it still didn't matter.
Come back,
most of his yards. Yeah, but but like it was like 247 to 201 or 257 201. Like still, like Kelsey caught almost all of that because you weren't getting up the hill. But Mahomes was impressed. I mean, like Mahomes showed up for the most part, but he was getting killed too. Like that man was getting folded like a damn accordion, bro. Like
it's amazing how he plays when they let linemen pressure him a little bit. But you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like seen that before. When good linemen put pressure on him, he plays bad. We've seen that, until they start calling holding, stop calling holding calls. You know what I'm saying? But the president like to act like, what I'm saying, he's never been pressured by a great line before. But what I'm saying, go ahead, Jerry, continue.
No.
Continue.
No, but it was like Mahomes came, like he's like you can't say he had a really bad game. Like he really didn't have a bad game per se.
I believe he had a worse game last year, but continue.
I mean, 21 points in the fourth quarter. I don't think that.
Yeah, but the QBR, we talking about that. We talking about his game though. We talking about the QBR. The QBR was a little lower last year.
I mean, like you can't
two tubs.
You can't say that Mahomes really had a bad game per se. Like I think the team they just didn't execute at all. Because
they weren't allowed to. That defense was just like
the defense was the defense.
Y'all are done tonight, bro.
But Mahomes, like he really couldn't find anybody else, and I think maybe it's because he was just trying to find his two biggest, catchers, and like nobody else is really doing anything. So I think he just did the best that he could with what he could do, and that showed with him scrambling for damn near almost
500 yards, 497, I think it was.
Yeah, 497, 3 yards short.
Adjusting? Do we blame Reed for not adjusting the game plan?
Should have ran the ball more.
You gotta put it on. You gotta definitely give him a share of the blame because at the end of the day, we done seen Brady in the Super Bowl before, where the first half looking bleak, and then Belichick bring out his service tablet popping, and you know what I'm saying, and all of a sudden it's a whole new game plan, and it look like a whole new game. So I mean, I'm not saying that Andy Reid is Belichick because he's not, but he's been in the game long enough to know that you can't keep trying the same shit over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Unpopular opinion. Overrated.
Who?
Andy Reid?
Mahomes?
Both. The entire offense. Overrated.
Okay.
Wow.
Here's why.
Let's go.
Well, yeah. What makes
right.
Mahomes so great?
Because without those wild ass weapons, you see what you get, unfortunately. This game, as well as last year, if you take away, because basically what Todd Bowles did was you're not beating me with your best.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to beat me with Pringle, with Demarcus Robinson, with Mecole Hardman, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Those are gonna be who you're gonna have to beat me with. I'm not giving you the opportunity to beat me with A, Tyreek Hill, or B, Travis Kelce.
And they even let
Travis Kelce had a great game.
It was mainly Tyreek Hill that they shut down. They let Kelce get
because
his.
Kelce, you know, got over.
Kelce had a
as
great
much as he
game
could.
at the end because it was trash time yards.
Yeah, Kelce didn't have a good game at all.
Kelsey didn't have a great game.
He didn't have a good game at all.
Nah, but in the first quarter, he got his though, because they took away their.
He got one. He got like 1 or 2 catches in the first quarter.
He was dropping passes left. Yeah,
they was in his ass. He dropped that. Yeah. He dropped that pass towards the sideline that hit him in his hands. Yep, on that third down that caused him to punt. He dropped that. He slipped on the play, and then Devontae David was able to get him out of that. Like he was. You could see he was flustered. Like, because after that slip, you seen him hold his head. He was like, "Oh shit!" Like they made a conscious effort of, if you're gonna beat us, we're gonna go 1-on-1 with every single other person except these two.
Mm-hmm.
So that shows me that if you didn't have those two on that team, arguably one of the best tight ends to ever play the game, and there's no argument, the fastest and most elusive receiver in the league. What is your offense at that point? You're not that high-powered offense still.
Yeah, I mean, he did have Sammy Watkins last year when he, we saw what Sammy Watkins did to Richard Sherman, though.
That was one play.
That one
Sammy
play.
Watkins I don't even know the stats, but I guarantee you, if you go look, Sammy Watkins has not had over 800 yards in a season, period. I don't believe.
No, he did in Buffalo. He had a 1,000-yard season in Buffalo.
Okay. That was probably either his rookie or his second season. I guarantee.
I think it was his second season.
Did they shut that down?
Word, like Sammy Watkins has been mediocre. Like the hype that was him coming out of Clemson was amazing, and he's never lived up to that hype.
Yeah, he did. I mean, except for that one play against Richard Sherman in the Super Bowl, though.
Oh my God.
Real, what would you say, Real?
So Chris, I got a question, and so I can understand that what you brought up would mean that the offense scheme, the offensive power is overrated, but you also think Mahomes as an individual is overrated?
Here's why. This is why I lump Mahomes in that as well. We can all by now, Mahomes isn't, I mean, he just got out of his rookie contract. This is year 3. Most quarterbacks year 3 don't have the rope that Mahomes has. So Mahomes is like Steph Curry. You got golden green light. You can shoot it whenever you want. If you go into the huddle and I call a play, you can literally tell me, nah, they shutting that down. This is what I want to do. Or audible whenever you want. For Mahomes not to be able to adjust, that says a lot to me. That's why he gets a part of that.
Okay. So would that mean that you don't, so where do you place him? Is he
No.
Like,
don't trip. I'm not saying he trash. I'm not saying he's trash.
Okay.
He's by far, I will give him the credit that he deserves. He's up there, top 5 in the league right now, hands down.
Right.
But a part of him, his rating,
like with what they put on him,
with those weapons, he's up there.
Right.
With those weapons, that's a part of why he's up there.
But all the love he get, he should, if he really lives up to that, he should have been also been able to make those adjustments that he should have been seeing certain things to say, it's like you said, with the rope that he has, to be like, all right, now we got to change this. We've been doing this.
For lack of a better term, the way that they sucked his cock last year when he called that Tyreek Hill play, he's calling plays in the huddle. You know what I mean? Like the way they hyped that up. I need that same energy this year for him not doing that.
When he was on, I think it's called a shop, that LeBron joint when he in the barbershop. Yeah. That when Mahomes,
I know.
I don't know if it's called a shop, but but it's that LeBron James and Maverick Carter shit on HBO. Yeah. When Mahomes is on that, they asked him like the difference between like now versus like when his first starting season he threw 52 touchdowns. He was like, well,
you don't know how to read defense.
He was like back then, right? Exactly. Back then, everything was just like physical, I'm making spectacular throws or whatever. He's like, I really wasn't an X and O dude. Like I couldn't like, if I see something in front of me, I didn't really know how to read a defense and make a change. And he felt like now, he didn't even say like, now I got it. He was like, now, he's like, now I'm learning more like how to do that. So I think that part of his game is still even, it's still growing. But I don't think that people that put him on a pedestal even realize that. So, so everybody's saying that, he's the current, the GOAT or whatever the case may be. They might need to slow down because there's certain things that he still needed to develop.
And that's what I mean by overrated.
Yeah.
Can't crown them too soon when stuff like this happens. Exactly. And we can pinpoint as average fans and just guys looking at it. We're not analysts, but we know what we can see. We know what we're looking at as fans and football lovers and sports lovers. Like, dude, there should have been some adjustments here. And if you're getting the credit that you're getting from last year, from, he drew up this play and this play, why didn't he make adjustments? Why didn't he use those timeouts? Because they had mad timeouts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He has the leverage and the leadership. They say he's a leader and all of that. Leaders supposed to make adjustments on the fly and be able to do that. He's not like Sam Darnold, who's like, well, that's the play they called in the huddle. I just got to call it.
Well, two things come to mind. Well, two things come to mind. Well, but actually, sidebar from that, I know Sammy Watkins in his first 2 years, the only time he had over 700 yards. His rookie season, he had 982. His second season, he had 1,000. He had 1,047. But he's had an injury-play career ever since then. Also, like dude just can't stay healthy, and that's just the nature of the game. He's had 400, 600 yard games after that. Ty Bowles had a raw deal in the Jets, and he's showing why he is, a good coach, at least a really good defensive coach. Maybe, and I'm hoping your boy Salah, I hope he has a good thing coming to the Jets. Because he also is a good defensive mind. I know.
Not too good. I don't want to get to Sean. Not too good.
I know President's going to say something about him being a good defensive coach last year, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to go there.
Be clear. I don't mean to cut you off, Jared, because time is running low. But remember the conversation I and the president had in our text. Mm-hmm. Said the league is different now.
Yeah.
No longer win with a top-rated defense.
You can't. It's a fact.
And the Buccaneers defense is not a top-rated defense, but they're pretty up there.
But what do they have though?
At the end of the Bucs day, defense still wins championships, and that was my point in that conversation.
The defense won that game.
Defense won that game.
Handedly.
Okay, they had the same defense last year. Why did they make it playoffs?
They added Tom Brady, but the defense won that game.
Okay, then what is Tom Brady?
Points on the board. You still have to do that, obviously.
Yeah,
but
what is Tom Brady?
Down a high-powered offense.
I think with that shutdown, you didn't. I think with the way that.
But what is Tom Brady?
But what is Mahomes? His high-powered offense got shut down.
Yeah. Because they didn't make any adjustments. They played 22 men. If you play man coverage, you got to run the football. You got to run them out of that.
To be honest, with the defense shutting down Mahomes the way they did, it didn't take Tom Brady to win that game.
Every score prediction was 30-something, 30-something. 30 this, 30 that. 20-something, 30-something. Everybody's predictions was 31, 27, 35, 30. Everybody was in the 30s for both teams.
My point was
scored over 30.
Yeah, but my point, I said you cannot win you can't win a championship now with a defensive-led team. There's a difference between having a great defense.
I'm gonna find the message.
Go ahead. Okay, so please do.
That's different. That's different.
When you find that, put it in
but
your.
But the point remains: how did they win that game? How did they win that like this? It was defensive led.
I'll say this.
I said a predominantly
even though the Buccaneers scored 31. We all would assume, well, the Chiefs might score 35 though.
But when I say defensive led, I'm talking Ravens, 2000 Ravens, even get a touchdown. Bears, 85 Bears. That's defensive led.
But you didn't even respect their secondary. You didn't respect this at all. You didn't respect this happening at all.
Neither did Ben.
I didn't in the beginning of the season. I said as the season went on. And if you look at the beginning of the season, they was getting killed.
So and now they're not. So they won how?
Okay, they showed up.
And how did they win? Because
by scoring 31 points. Scoring 31.
All they needed was 10. Well. All they needed was 10 points.
Yeah, right.
The difference. Bruce Arians said that they needed to get 40 to secure a win. Bruce Arians even said they needed
the
to get
coach
40.
was like, "Yo, we gonna win. We need 40." Like
everybody
he was
expected a shootout.
He was like, "Nah, we not. We still need this ain't it."
Everyone expected a shootout.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
Okay.
That defense right there, play phenomenal. If you move Tom Brady from that team, will they still make it to the Super Bowl?
We don't know.
I don't know.
They
would have won the game.
But what we do know,
they would have won the game.
Super Bowl.
You want to know how I know they wouldn't win
with that defense?
You want to know how I know they wouldn't win? Because they had the same
defense last year and they went 7-9. You didn't expect
they had the same defense last year and they went 7-9.
You didn't expect them to win with Tom Brady still, and you doubted their defense. So you doubted Tom and their defense. And guess what? Both stepped up.
I said that before they got Gronk, AB, and Leonard Fournette. That's 3 Pro Bowl players.
And you also doubted their secondary.
2 of them Hall of Fame.
So who changed on the secondary? Who did they get on the defense? You added offensive guys, but who did they get on defense when you doubted them that wasn't there before?
They got Antoine Winfield. And that was before.
Antoine Winfield, they still had JPP. They still had a bunch of, they was there. They did that. Tom Brady came back, y'all. I don't know if y'all was aware. 43 years old man. Everybody said he couldn't do it. He did it. Thanks to a Gronkowski phone call, a FaceTime call, that the service was bad. It was breaking up. Tom Brady misinterpreted. Did y'all ever hear a rumor that that Barry Sanders said, "I'm tired," and everybody thought he was retired, so he just let it be?
I heard that, yeah. When on his retired phone call, yeah, I heard that rumor.
He said, "I'm tired," and everybody thought he said he was retired, so he went with it. He would tell you, he's like, "Yeah, I guess so."
Ain't no way in hell that's lasting if I'm the owner or the coach of the Lions.
I'd be like, you need a nap?
Word, I didn't hear that. You said you're tired or retired. I don't think I heard the R.
We'll get you a memory foam, some new pillows. We're gonna take care of that.
Word.
Get you a California king size bed, roll around all.
I'm glad he did retire. At that time when he did retire, I was like heartbroken because that's like my favorite player of all time.
Everybody was.
Look,
Tom did retire.
Sprint PCS.
Tom had T-Mobile. Well, Tom finally got T-Mobile, but back then he didn't have it. I don't know who it was. This ain't no advertising for them anyway.
Boost
back again.
Yeah, Boost Mobile.
He went to Tampa, so TB12 went to TB. The Super Bowl is gonna be in TB. Said I need to be there because it just makes sense.
Illuminati.
Stay woke. Keep your third eye open. You know what I mean? First ever Super Bowl in the team's home stadium that made it there. It happened, and everybody thought he wasn't going to be able to do it again. 10th Super Bowl, which was incredible. You know what I'm saying? In its own right, football is one of the hardest to repeat back to back, to get back to in general. You know what I'm saying? We always talk about Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills getting there 4 times in a row. But the difference is they went 0-4.
That's crazy.
Y'all know me. I'm not here for participation trophies. I'm all about winners. And 10 times he got there and he won 7, 70% is passing. That's a good grade right there. Can't nobody argue that. I feel there is no more conversation who the greatest quarterback is of all time, as much as it hurts me to say that.
Oh, is he about to say it? I want to hear him say it.
As a 49er fan who had Joe Montana and
that was mine too. And
my favorite was Steve Young though. My favorite quarterback was Steve Young, but Joe was just the greatest. But Steve, I love Steve was a lefty. He was mobile, but Joe was the greatest. But now
I need to hear him say it. Come on now.
It's no argument. Tom Brady has some tainted rings because Nah, I want to talk about first and foremost the rings that they got before, because a lot of people always say that. But at this point, I will say Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback. I'm not even.
It is.
All jokes aside, Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback. we could talk about the Deflategate and all the other stuff that got them there, but at the end of the day, for him to still do what he's doing right now and winning, not just getting there but winning, I give him the credit for that, hands down. Like a lot of people want to talk about the flags. We spoke about that already. The flags that flew yesterday. I don't think that
excuses.
I don't think that changed the outcome of that game at all. If it was a close game and then a penalty happened, or if they wasn't calling it one way and then they started calling it one way, I give you that. But this game wasn't close enough for that to matter.
And they were consistent the whole game.
The whole time. Stop tugging on jerseys. Stop holding them. It's pretty basic. It's pretty basic. So Tom Brady, 7 rings. There's an Ariana Grande song that's called 7 Rings. She never mentioned 7 rings in the song, so it's not worth really putting as his theme music.
He won it on the 7th day.
Oh, stay woke. Stay woke. I mean, some people say it's the first
day. Was February 7th?
Listen,
stay woke.
I mean, I ain't saying nothing. You ain't gonna shut my channel down. But what are y'all thoughts on him, the legacy, all that? Yeah, Rel, you go first, Rel.
Yeah, I'm with you. To me, the GOAT was Joe Montana. I'm still not a fan of Tom Brady. I didn't become one yesterday, but with what he did and what he's done, I can't not give him that title. They always. Well, all the winning that they did, there was always the question: is it the system? Is it Belichick or is it Brady? So that was always that question. And as long as he played there, you was always going to have that question. So then he goes, and immediately, and this obviously factors that always factor into any result of a season for a team. But immediately he leaves, Belichick stays, and then the Patriots can't make the playoff. And he goes to where people looked at it as he needs to clean this up. He needs to turn this around. He needs to. We got him here to bring that winning culture, that experience. So nobody would think that's going to happen in one season and whatever the case may be. And they start off. They start wasn't that dope. So people were like, yeah, see, it ain't that easy, is it, Tom? Like they give him all that flack, but then they get smoked in the first quarter by KC. Then from that point on, they like, nah, that's not how it goes. So then that's the last game they lose, and turn everything around, offense, defense. And to do that in a season, 43 years old, Super Bowl, with me, it's 2 teams make the Super Bowl. So I'm not even shitting on the nigga that lose, because making the Super Bowl to me is something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't. I'm not shitting on it. Like, the rest of y'all didn't do it, so y'all want to laugh at me because I lost. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, President.
But for him to do that, go up against where everybody is calling the highest power offense, what most people feel is the best quarterback in the league. The dude that's next up. You got the whole kid versus the GOAT. And the GOAT, a kid is a baby goat. Or whatever. So
don't even ask you how. Not even asking.
But to do that and win first year in, like, how do you not get? And like you said, again, as much as making the Super Bowl is an accomplishment period, he won 7 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you got to say that he's the best ever. As of this point, who knows what's going on in the future. And he said, they asked him if he want to play at 45. He said he considered that. So, I mean,
and you believe him?
Yeah.
Like he's just playing. He just,
I don't think anybody here be shocked if he win next year too. I mean, I'm not writing in the books, but I mean, they do have a lot of free agents, like a lot of his big offensive weapons. This was their contract year, so they got decisions to make as far as what that's going to entail. But we've seen him put puzzles together in New England with new players and win that way. So who knows? But he's the best ever. I had to give him that. I ain't a hater, so what's in front of me, I recognize. So
every year in football, 12 teams out of 32 make the playoffs. This year was 14 teams.
Yeah.
But 14 out of 32 make the playoffs. In basketball, it's 16 out of 30.
Right.
So that's more than half.
More than half, yeah.
Football is less than half. It's hard just to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the playoffs, it's single game elimination. So in every other major sport, you can have an off game. 3 out of 5, 4 out of 7. They got us in game 1. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna bounce back. Home field, like home court advantage. When we switch over here, okay, we gonna get y'all. Football, you don't get that. So for that accomplishment alone, like that's big. Chris, actually I'm gonna go to Jared first because Jared, you want to talk. So Jared, go ahead, go.
Well, what can I say, man? The dude's a GOAT, man. Like, I'm a Baltimore fan. I'm always gonna be a Baltimore fan. So I always had a love-hate relationship with, for Brady. I respect the dude's game. Like, end of the day, the dude is the greatest quarterback. I was looking, I was trying to figure out like who has won, multiple Super Bowls with different teams, and only one, like Peyton Manning became the first to do it with the Colts and the Broncos, but that's all in the same conference. This dude went to a whole complete conference, a different conference, a team, a conference that he doesn't play in like full time like that, and still dominated that shit to get a Super Bowl. Like, he's the first player to get one in the NFC and in the AFC. Craig Morton, I had to look that one back. Like, Craig Morton back in the 70s got the 2 Super Bowls and lost both of them, Broncos and the Cowboys. Like, the dude is that phenomenal. At 43 years old, like, the dude, you can't. And I know people who still want to hate on him and say, X, Y, Z about, fuck Tom Brady and stuff. You don't have to like the dude all you want. But that game, but his game is what it is.
The play gate.
Like he plays that shit, and he's a master at his craft. Brady is just he's just that good, and it's funny that he texts. I was saying earlier that he texts Matthew an apology. The only thing that he can say to Honey Badger is what.
Don't take this ass whipping personally.
That's the only thing you can say to.
So what was his apology to Matthew about? Like,
because they had, I don't know, but
they had words on the field, but I mean, like,
because he went back to him. Tyrann Mathieu started it, and at first Brady walked away.
Yeah, but then he ran back.
He kept going at him, then Brady went to him and started getting in his face. So
I still don't see why you apologize. I mean,
because because the kids was watching.
Bro, we in Black History Month, all right? We in Black History Month. That's why. Like,
this is doing Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. You think he hashtagged that in his text message? He texted him.
Black Lives Matter. We can't do that. We can't do that nowadays. We can't go against.
His text message was asking him, "Are you black?" Because Tyrann Mathieu, a little light skin, he was like, "Are you black?" Okay, then I want to apologize to you, sir. He had to make sure first. He was like, "Not sure." He's a little light skinned, nobody kid. But
yeah, I mean, out of 4, only 4 players have ever, gone to the Super Bowl with 2 different teams, and 2 of them won, but only one is won in different conferences. And like, what can I say, man? The dude is just that damn elite.
And he was the 199th pick.
Yeah, on top of that.
Yep.
Everything was he's slow, like terrible body shape. You know what I'm saying? And
terrible hair.
I want to know where Drew Bledsoe is. I want to interview Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, Super Bowl ring.
I mean, he got one as the backup, but I want to know how he
get that on his flowers.
Chris, go ahead, take it away.
I mean, he's definitely the GOAT. That whole apologizing to Tyrann Mathieu shit, he should have wrote him a letter. He should have, when he ran up on him, all I wanted to hear was somebody say, "Yo, you heard what Tom Brady said?" He told him his wife tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios. That's all I wanted to hear he say, because with the shit that he was talking and the ass whooping that they was giving him, I'd have let it fly. He wouldn't have heard the end of, like, Soon as the game would have been over, I'd have went looking for him like on my Richard Sherman and fucking Michael Crabtree type shit. Like I done went looking for him. Like you tried me with that sorry ass DB. Like you wouldn't have been able to tell me nothing. But I feel like with this win, granted, everybody's trying to take away from what Bill Belichick built in New England. I feel like this doesn't take away from Bill Belichick's legacy. This just adds and heightens to Tom Brady's.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But they were still the fucking Tom and Jerry in New England. Like they weren't winning. Either one wasn't winning without the other in New England. Hands down, period. Tom Brady left and joined a very loaded fucking offense and a beast of a defense to win outside of that. But in that system, to win how they won and with what they won, because it was very little to none weapons in New England every fucking year, except for one. And when they did have weapons, they didn't win, which is fucking crazy and unbelievable. It was just amazing. But I think there's no question he's definitely the GOAT. For me, as a quarterback, Joe Montana was definitely my guy. As a 49er fan and as just a fan of football, like it was just amazing growing up and being so young and me getting into my understanding of what football was, seeing that and going through the history of my team was just amazing. But I look at it as, so with him being the greatest quarterback of all time, do you guys put that as a category of him being the greatest football player ever of all time?
I don't know about that.
I think football,
like just GOAT of football, period. Would you guys categorize that?
It ain't like basketball where you play.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say who it would be. You know.
Okay.
I'm always gonna go with Barry.
The football, you play the position. You don't always get the option to even, sometimes you could be Dion or whatever and play both. Right. You know what I'm saying? Even some receivers don't even get to be in the slot. Corners only stay on one side. They don't get to go with the man. So I think football doesn't give you the chance to be the greatest player. But the greatest quarterback position is the highest touted position. So that's the highest honor. But yeah, I don't think football gives you the opportunity to be the greatest football player
of all time, period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. That's just my opinion. Some people.
Yeah, I wouldn't even, because I think there's arguments can be made for lots of players if we were just trying to. Like you could say Dion was the greatest football player. Though you could, I think it's real hard, like you said. And then certain positions, just the nature of the game, have a lot more spotlight than others. So I don't know. It's kind of hard.
I was gonna wait, but since you brought that question up, I also want to ask you guys, because they're saying he's the greatest athlete.
Nah, definitely.
Nah. Okay, I'm gonna say that right now because
It's absurd.
Okay, we're on the same page. Just want to make sure. Because
that's absurd.
Yeah,
they have.
Did they not see the highlights of Bo Jackson in his day?
I guess I don't think they mean all time. I think they just mean like right now he's the greatest athlete because he wanted.
But are they factoring athleticism in this?
When you
like does athleticism have any part of this?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
But even still, no.
Yeah. Okay, as long as we're on the same page, just making sure. President, what you got to say?
I don't think he's the GOAT.
Okay.
If he wants to prove that he's the GOAT, he has to come to Chicago and win the Super Bowl for the Bears. That proves 100% that he's the GOAT.
That man said he has to
until he comes to Chicago and win the Super Bowl for my Bears. I can't put him as a GOAT.
Okay.
He the GOAT. I mean, I think what's so crazy about him is that he's showing people that you don't have to be the most talented, because he's clearly not the most talented quarterback. And if you just work on just the fundamentals and the little nuances of the game, you can have more longevity than the guys who are more talented than you. Because he outlasted all of these guys. 43 years old, and he's doing this based on he can read and see what type of defense you are. He worked on his mechanics, his footwork in the pocket, those little nuances that you don't see guys like Mahomes working on. Even though Mahomes is spectacular and Aaron Rodgers, them dudes they can make throws off their back foot, throwing
all types of awkward angles. But when you get older, you don't have that same athleticism.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you said that, because that's a big conversation in sports. You know what I'm saying? The athleticism versus the talent or the skill set, or what have you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
you
people
even saw that in boxing.
Right. And yes, in sports in general, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people argue, you know, because nowadays a lot of the guys are more athletic. They can, you know, they can jump out the roof, they can jump out the building, they can throw 100-mile-an-hour fastball, they can, but when that goes, what do you have? And
exactly,
you know, even like a Michael Jordan had to, you know what I'm saying, he couldn't rely on just dunking, getting to the rim when the Pistons was knocking him back. So he had to work on that jump shot. That fadeaway had to improve. You know what I'm saying? So funny you guys should mention, well, the president mentioned that, but Kevin Garnett just recently made a statement. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. About, he said guys like 20 years ago wouldn't be able to play in the NBA today because now the guys, you know, can cross you over, dribble you out the building, and so forth and so forth. So it kind of comes back to that conversation. But what do you guys? I don't know. Did you guys see the quote or hear it? Because
I did. I think I don't know if I put it in. I'm about to send it somewhere. I don't know if I sent it to y'all in the chat or not.
You sent the group chat. You sent the group chat.
Yeah. Okay. So to me, when you do the whole era thing, it's just weird because like, you know, like if you just took them in their present form and you teleported them to this NBA, they're gonna be going up against shit that they ain't seen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they I remember somebody told me how like Kobe was, you know, a Jordan clone, but Kobe like wouldn't have been able to play back then. I'm like, yo, back then when Jordan had his height, nobody had a game, like especially when it come to handle wise, that the way that Kobe came up and the way like Iverson, all them, they weren't guarding dudes that did that with the basketball. So they would have been watching this dude like what, like look like an alien to them. You know what I'm saying? But like, so when you switch people out of this era, it's easy to say they couldn't have done this or couldn't have done that. But Garnett was talking about how like they couldn't adjust because of the rules. Like, you know, you can't put your hands on players now, and back then like you could. Imagine if you tried to guard Mike without handshaking, which I thought that it's kind of the opposite of what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like those.
And that's what I was going to go to.
Like those. Right. Like
it's them, but they're saying it's
right. If Mike had the skill, that we just teleported him. Yeah, his game wouldn't be as flashy as what we see now. However, even with him just doing the things that he did well then, he would still cook because the defense is, you have to play so soft. You can't breathe on anybody as a foul. He would have just went to work even worse than every night than he did back then. So it's like, you know, there's gonna be a give and take everywhere when you go era to era that way. So I mean, I try not to never say, or if you put this one back then, they couldn't handle. Like, you don't know what would happen if they would have played back then. They would have came up back then, so they'd have been playing. They've been forced to play the game that's in front of them. Mm-hmm. You know, like if today's game wasn't thought of back then. So if they played then, they wouldn't be playing that game. So like it's the whole era thing to me is always a weird comparison.
And like we all said about the Super Bowl and the Chiefs and how they adjusted from their last meeting with them in that first quarter that Tyreek had, they adjusted to what the situation was. Yes, cooked them, absolutely, can't argue that, until they adjusted to the situation that was presented.
Right, so I made the assumption that they won't adjust.
Right, I feel people would definitely adjust, and like I said, KG to me contradicted himself when he said the kids today, you know, play such as da-da-da-da, and the guys back then wouldn't be able to, and then he brought the rules into it.
Right.
So are you saying it's them, or are you saying it's the rule change? Because if it's the rule change, then you know you're saying the rules are, in his words, the rules are easier now for offenses to to perform, which is in every sport. A lot of people would say, you know, home runs are up,
sure,
dunks and
because it's a product.
Yeah, because that's right, exactly, and that's what sells tickets, brings ratings, so on and so forth. But to the president's dismay, defense still wins championships. So
if you have a quarterback,
if you have a quarterback, sure.
You don't need, but again, you didn't need Tom Brady to win. If your defense is playing like that, it could have been somebody else, and
somebody could have got them 31 points.
Yeah.
On that day,
no, but I mean, but
you had to get to that point though. You got to get there,
right? Because Jameis Winston 30 was not getting it. Like Tom Brady was
giving the ball back to the.
Not like Tom Brady was.
He could have came in last night and won.
Nah, he would have threw like.
Nah, he would have threw like 7 interceptions, bro.
And the Chiefs would have won.
But I don't know what the hell KG was talking about. Like
KG trying to make some news. He was trying to get a little
he was bored. He was bored. He needed to say something because clearly he needs popularity. Maybe he got an album coming out, like because Flex was saying some dumb shit too. Like I don't know what's going on with KG. Like that anyhow. Like he really gonna say the cast from 20 years ago couldn't play today? Like not everybody plays to like that athletic style, like like now. Like I get it. You got a lot of runners like Russell Westbrook and so forth. Dudes who push who are pushing. To get the court, and it plays at a faster pace. But you're trying to say like Klay Thompson doesn't play that fast pace like that. But Allen Iverson did.
Right.
Jordan could definitely push. Reggie Miller.
Thomas in his prime is cooking a lot of these point guards.
Thank you. Reggie Miller, like the dude, Reggie would be he would be elite on the catch and shoot. Like you couldn't stop half of those legends from 20 years ago, including Garnett, will still flourish in today's game, even more so because of the rules.
Yeah.
So to say that these guys like wouldn't survive or they couldn't play, in today's era, that's
nonsense.
The dumbest thing. That's the dumbest thing.
Nonsense.
Chris,
Tim Hardaway would kill.
The killer crossover?
Tim Hardaway would kill.
Gosh, Shamgar would kill.
Tim Hardaway was literally, I would say, Dame Lillard before Dame Lillard.
Okay.
He could get to the cup, he could shoot the three, and he could control the offense. He just needed that help around him, basically.
And they don't even play defense in this era. What are we talking about?
Quick.
Don't.
Yeah.
They definitely don't.
Everybody are making in this era. They don't even play defense. I'm watching the Nets give up 199 points every game and whatnot. Like, come on, you just leaving guys wide open. You trying to tell me Larry Bird wide open is not getting buckets?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Come on, man.
That dude was like automatic before the term automatic was even came up with.
Right. So I guess we all agree on that. I mean, everybody watching, listening, comment what y'all think about KG thoughts. But like we all kind of agree, except for the president again, that Brady is the GOAT. The president got one stipulation. Yeah, we heard you.
I need a ring, man.
Listen, you had to
get married. You better get married.
Y'all got a rap song, B. It's legendary.
My man, it's been 37 years, man.
Do the dance step, baby.
Yeah.
You heard Chris though, right?
What you say?
Said you want a ring, you better get married. It's crazy. So you really think Mitchell Trubisky is the Bears' issue?
Hell yeah.
You don't think it's Nagy?
He's an issue too. Listen, it's Trubisky, it's Nagy, and it's that clown Pace. Oh Lord, I can't stand that motherfucker. I don't even. Should I be cursing on him?
It's okay.
No.
I allow it.
It's a little too late for that.
Hit the bleep on me for that one.
It's cool. That's pretty much all I got on that. Did we? I mean, we covered the commercials. We covered the halftime show. We covered the game. I think we good on that. Everybody watching and listening, let me know what y'all think. Before we get out, I mean, y'all got any predictions for next year? You know what I'm saying? What we think about this Deshaun Watson situation?
He's not going nowhere.
He's not going nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere.
Okay, but that's what
with Matthew Stafford going for 2 firsts, a third, and a quarterback.
Yeah.
Houston is like, yo, you got to give me your life. Flat out.
For your first born.
Right.
Word.
What do we think Brady doing next year?
He's staying.
No comment. Brady ain't gonna get me on this one. Ain't gonna get me.
Shame on me.
I think they got a good chance of going back. I think with teams getting healthier, i.e. the Niners, and hopefully getting a quarterback. And
I heard they're getting Kirk Cousins. That's the rumor.
But nah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see what the Saints do. Depending on what the Saints do, will play a big part.
Well, Breeze just re-upped for the minimum.
Wait, he did? I heard he was asking for it.
I think.
All right, never mind. Then they got the South. Then never mind.
Yeah, I think he took the veteran minimum.
Yeah,
I think they just can't do it yet until the season's over. But I think
he's done.
Get word like noodle arm to the fullest.
I agree, but they keeping him around for the veteran minimum, and that's going to free up some money because I think he had 1 or 2 years on.
That's going to free up mad money because he was making like 23, 24.
Right. So now they're going to add some pieces or re-sign whoever was. But he said
he needed that money for a new quarterback. Not
he
another
want
piece.
one more. He's not. He's Brady ain't going nowhere. He's not
getting on.
I know.
He's not getting.
I feel you.
He's not
trying.
But the only problem with the Bucks is
him and Brady was going back and forth in like most touchdowns or some record.
Yeah, Brady got that. Brady got that.
He trying to catch back up to him or whatever. So he don't
want to go happen, bro.
The Bucks about to lose a lot of pieces. They gonna lose Chris Godwin, Levante.
They had a lot of guys on 1-year deals.
Yeah, Shaq Barrett. Those are some key pieces, but I still ain't gonna count freaking 7 rings, man. You don't know what he might do. He might convince somebody to go play for $1.
Listen, I got you. My wife got some money. I can slide you a couple dollars.
AB to play for like $1 million.
Prediction for next season: Baltimore. We taking it next year. L Boogie's gonna do it.
Well, I know y'all got one.
Jackson.
I would love to. I love Lamar's game.
Y'all drafting like 3 wide receivers, or y'all getting like? I mean, y'all just gonna get a perk that just lets everybody get open or something.
Don't worry about how we gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. All right.
Oh, okay.
That's too many questions.
I would love to see that happen. My bad. I would love to see that happen.
I would too. I definitely would too.
I would love to see y'all in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I would love to see that too.
Like I'd love to see them against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, duking it out and having a real competitive game where Baltimore can actually keep up. I would love to see that.
I would love to see that too.
As long as my Niners is in the Super Bowl and we win,
you don't care who's in the Super Bowl.
I don't care who we play again. We had a good thing going. You know what I'm saying? We was 5-0.
I ain't even gonna make a prediction. I'm predicting and hoping health.
Because
please stay healthy.
Whew, this year was.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I'm glad
man.
this year is over.
Y'all need Bosa to get those whole 9 sacks he got.
Yeah, my man.
Whole 9.
Yeah,
my man.
Yeah.
Y'all need Richard Sherman back so he can get cooked by Sammy Watkins again.
But where he got cooked at in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. I remember that. I was watching that highlight. And
you was watching from the sidelines. Yeah, he was on the couch.
I was watching that, and I saw your Super Bowl trophy go over Emmanuel Sanders' head.
Y'all don't even get Super Bowl paraphernalia made. They don't even make it for y'all. Like, at least we had some shirts with the Africa.
At least our shirt is in Africa somewhere.
They not even printing y'all up.
Yeah, they print y'all shirts up, and they had one big ass L on there. It had big L.
Yeah, it was L. It was
the L next to the V, bro.
Big L in there.
LIV. Yes, you're right.
Even the winners got an L on their joint.
Right.
We thought your shirt was a rapper. We thought your shirt was a rapper, Big L.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to be back. Don't worry about it. Super Bowl LV1. We're going to be there. All right. We might.
Y'all going to be back in the top 10 draft pick.
But look, we might see the Ravens, but we definitely ain't seeing the Bears. We know that.
We definitely know the Bears is going to be in the top 10 draft pick.
Oh, and if y'all do, we know what happens when y'all do play us. L City.
Revenge.
Listen,
another
when the schedule come out, I'll put anything on it. We can bet. Paul, get me in contact with the president, please.
All right, I got you.
And please, though.
I got you. But like I said,
fact, let's do a show
coming through. Thank y'all for joining the conversation. Shout out to everybody listening. Shout out to everybody watching. Comment your thoughts, your predictions. What y'all feel. Y'all don't agree with us, disagree, agree. Let us know below. We'll holler at y'all for the next one. The conversation continues later.